my thoughts. I shut it down wherever power is stored. Being real is in the past, watching cowards get on. It ain't kill me, so it's making me stronger. And these bite-sized rappers now sensing my heart.
What the hell is going on, people? This is Periodic, and you see the title of the video. We are jumping back into Dragonball Z Dokkan Battle in order to discuss a whole lot of hoopla, a whole lot of shenanigans, a whole lot of shaft with the homie Nolar. What's going on, my dude?
Yeah, I'm good, dude. It's been a roller coaster for sure. Like, yeah, you expect one thing and then something else happens. Let's dive into it.
Yes, indeed. So in case you guys don't know what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be addressing the global craziness that has been going on recently. Essentially, what happened, it was like a two-parter, dude. It was like the story, you know, the plot thickens kind of situation. Because at first, it was someone noticed that LR UI Goku was unobtainable from step 1 through 4 as an unfeatured LR. He was only able to be obtained as step 5 LR. And then it was discovered that not only that, but they got rid of all of the OG LRs, like physical trunks. And we're talking about global only. Japan did not have this issue at all. I'm guessing on your end, every unfeatured LR was available.
I can't confirm or deny that because I did not even go on the Step-Up banner.
That's true.
So I can't definitely tell you that, but I make the assumption that's the case because we haven't had any issues so far.
Yeah,
but,
over on DBZ.space, it has pretty much all the OG LRs here in this big old list, physical Bardox and all that stuff. But for whatever reason on global, like you couldn't get Super Saiyan 2 Intelligence Gohan step 1 through 4. Now, some people could look at it as like, oh, that's a good thing because why would you want those super old LRs? But to me, it's like if you're a newer player, Strength Broly is not a bad pull if you're getting it for the first time because guess what? That's going to make World Tournament fairly easy. And you'll actually be able to, you know, climb steadily in there. Intelligence Bojack is about to become 50 times better once Strength Bojack comes out. So it's like the ability to not get him, that kind of stinks. But what made matters even worse, it was like so confusing, is all the OGs were gone except for Tech Super Saiyan 3 Goku. But you could not pull Tech Super Saiyan 3 Goku in step 5 of the global guaranteed LR character guaranteed spot. So that was the error. That was the screw up. It took them, what, 3 days, 4 days, 3 days to figure out that something was wrong, and then they just removed the entire banner. So it's gone. It was supposed to leave on the 25th. It is gone right now as of this recording. They just said that, hey, we're taking it down, and that's it. We haven't received any word since then.
Yeah, so the biggest issue here was if they weren't featured in step 1 through 4, and then they were featured on 5, or vice versa, depending on if you're looking for LR UI Goku, which the majority of people are.
Yeah.
Or if you're looking for the OG LRs, which, again, they don't have as much impact as some of the newer ones, but they're still good on those teams. It's
Goku
not a
Black
bad
and
pull.
Rosé, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so either way, there were some inconsistencies at the very least, right, in terms of how the banner is structured, and that wasn't clearly articulated to the player base that, look, we withheld LR UI Goku from step 1 through 4, and then you can only get him on step 5 unless you like dug deep, which is how we all figured it out.
Pretty
Some
much.
of the more keen players looked into the actual featured rates, tried to look for Goku and couldn't find him, or vice versa, whatever you want to say. So I always said, look, that looks bad. I am a JP main, so of course people are going to say I see this as a JP slant, but I said, no, it's pretty terrible. It's not a good look at all because someone must have screwed up. Like, I feel like it's an engineer who forgot to hit the switch to let UI Goku be on all the steps and vice versa. But they would never, I was saying they would never openly admit they made a mistake. And so at the very least, I was like, probably they'll just give you some compensation and keep the banner around. It is what it is. Now, people, of course, were attacking me and saying like, oh, you're just a JP main. You know, of course you say something like that. If that happened on JP, it's a whole different circumstance because it's a different server. There are different rules involved because Japan is very strict with their with their gotcha laws, and it's a very competitive market where you make one mistake that could kill your game.
True.
So it's a different set of circumstances that people obviously want to have everything fair. And to me, they should have just kept the banners equal across the two.
Agreed.
Where there would be no differences between JP and Global in terms of this step-up banner. That's what would have made it easy. But again, it seems weird. Now, I didn't think they'd take down the banner. That was my thing. Well, there was two parts to it, because I didn't think they would take the banner down immediately and go into emergency maintenance, because that's what happened on JP when we had our specific errors, which we'll get to in later.
Yes.
But the biggest problem was that would have been like the initial shockwave of like, oh crap, they screwed up. They need to fix this. And the fact that they never did that immediately signaled to me that they weren't exactly that worried about this.
Right.
And it wasn't as significant as a lot of people were making it out to be. However, today is the 4th of January, as of this recording. This is when it came out. This is when they literally said, no, that's it, we're taking down the banner. Now, that to me signals, okay, so they are taking this more seriously. This is an issue. And if you're wondering why it took them this long, you got to remember, JP celebrates New Year's bigger than pretty much any other holiday in the year, right? And the global side is still managed in the JP region of Akatsuki. So they've been on holiday till today.
Right.
So that's when, oh crap, all these responses are in. We made a mistake. Let's take it down. So that's why there's a delay in their perceived action of what's going on. So yeah, that's basically how I view it. Right now, it's been about 16, 17 hours since they took down the banner, and there's been no communication whatsoever. I thought they would have at least said something by now. So I'm not exactly sure how to gauge their lack of a response so far, if that's a good or bad thing for Global in terms of how they're going to compensate you guys. But yeah, like I said, this is an ever-evolving situation.
It's kind of a first of its kind for Global as well. You kind of had something similar to it on JP, and we'll discuss that in just a little bit. But what makes this kind of muddy and complex is on JP, if an error happens, everyone is in essentially the same building, and they can just discuss what's going on. And then by the end of the day, you know, you've had issues arise in the past, 6 hours later fixed, because it makes sense. Everyone is a phone call away. Everyone is an email away. You're done. But with Global, you're talking about Japan as the mothership. They have to then, you know, the global, and it's different regions too. So you're talking about what, 20 something different countries that Dokkan is in, something insane like that. They all have to coordinate with their country's Play Store, App Store, their staff, and then they got to relay all that stuff to Japan. And if there's a hiccup on any one of those countries, guess what? It's delayed. So everyone, like 19 countries could be good on hour 5, and then the 20th country will take 24 hours, and guess what? Everybody's got to wait. So it's very, very complex right now. And they also have to all decide on a solution together, and it has to go by Bandai Namco, and that has to be fine. Because at the end of the day, this is a business, and if they do refund stones, that's going to be a hit on their bottom line, right? So they have to say, okay, does this make financial sense, the headache that we would receive by not doing this, as opposed to the financial loss we would, you know, receive by refunding stones or resetting the banners or giving stone compensations or whatever the case is. So it's like they're most likely right now just like going back and forth, throwing ideas out, trying to figure out what's the best solution to this issue. Right after they got off of a holiday, like you were saying. So pretty insane. But I do want to compare this to errors that have happened in the past. And we're over here on the Dokkan Wiki, dbz-dokkanbattle.fandom.com, which I do wish that they would just rebrand to the Dokkan Wiki. That would be so much easier, but either way.
Yeah.
If we scroll down, there's been a lot of errors on JP and Global for a very long time. Some of them I didn't even realize that happened. Like, I'm sure you've come across some of this weird stuff that has occurred. Like, I'm looking at this right now. The release of Full Power Frieza banner showed the
Super Saiyan Goku.
yeah, the awakened Goku instead of the unawakened, and they didn't do anything about it. They were just like, deal with it, move on, keep summoning, you idiots. But if we go down to the I think it was 2018 was the oh no, okay.
17. It was 17.
2017 for the Kefla banner. So the Kefla banner incident happened first, and then the Rose banner, happened second. And very quickly, because people have been talking about this a lot, the reason why the Kefla banner was they gave such a big compensation for it is because it displayed incorrect rates. And in Japan, they do not mess with the rates. That is why they show the rates. The only reason why a lot of American games even show rates is because of Japan. Because of the laws in Japan that pretty much make it so you have to show the percentage chance that you have at pulling the character. Because in the past, I forgot what year. Was it year one that they actually lowered the rates? On
year one Gogeta anniversary. Yep, I remember. I was there. Yeah.
What did they lower the rates to? Like 2.5% instead of 5%, something like that?
No, okay. So back then, just to be clear, 3% rates to pull as an SSR.
There you go.
And then the specific rate of Gogeta for the first 2 days, I think, was like 0.5%, 0.5, 0.7, something like that, which is like standard.
Yeah.
Right, with the 7 SSR featured Dokkan Fest banner. But over the first 2 days, it was like that, and then by the third or fourth day, it lowered to 0.3. So literally half the rate. And the thing was, this was not disclosed, so nobody knew.
Yeah.
And the only reason why we knew that happened was because we had the Laughing Man and another like person who was literally re-rolling accounts and pulling units and taking that data, aggregating that into a spreadsheet to give you what the rates were. They weren't super accurate, but it was like, oh yeah, it's supposed to be 0.7, it's 0.67, it's 0.72, whatever it is. You're like, oh, it's right around there, right? But after the third day, he's like, wait a minute, these rates are dropping fast. And then he's like, okay, let me keep re-rolling accounts and taking a look. And then he saw like, oh wow, it like really dropped. And that's in 2016 when U.S. laws weren't enforcing, disclosure rates and gacha laws and loot boxes and stuff. So it was really, really scummy. I don't know why they did it, but once we found out, people were throwing fits and, sending emails and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's why I couldn't pull Gogeta in 125 multis. Not one Gogeta in 125 multis. That's probably why.
Honestly, it's shocking that didn't kill the game right then and there. That shows how strong the Dragon Ball Z IP was.
Yes.
But the Kefla thing happened again after, and that seemed to be just accidental. Obviously, I don't think this was intentional that they wanted to falsely show incorrect rates, because they knew. And I actually remember during that time, because I had just picked up a JP account. Actually, I just started playing JP because I was already playing Global for a while now. And I just started playing JP at that time for that banner, because it was a guaranteed featured banner, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And the rates were wrong. And a lot of people were saying like, oh, they're doing it again. And I was like, I was kind of considering like, dude, they know how much crap they're going to be in if they do this again. Like, it's over if they just try to get away with it again. So I kind of figured that they were that it was accidental and that they were gonna fix it. I didn't think that they were just gonna drop 300 stones, like, please forgive us, please. And then they just gave it to everybody, which was insane, which was great for me because I was just starting my account. I think I was
starting again.
Dude, I was starting at like 60 stones, and I was like, what, 300? Let's go, baby. So that was fantastic. But again, it was something real serious. It's like, if you go into a Dokkan Festival banner and then you're looking at Rising Dragon Carnival rates and you're just like, wait, huh? But then you summon and they're not actually Rising Dragon Carnival rates.
Right.
That's false advertisement, clear as day. And so that was very cut and dry. If we keep on going down very quickly, this banner, which to me, listen, the unawakened art to the awakened art, I understand it. Like, you're saving some time and stamina because You don't have to get the awakening medals and the training items to get him to awaken state. At the end of the day, it's not that serious. It wasn't that crazy. They did refund all the stones used on it, plus they gave 5 as compensation. I just have straight up PTSD from this banner and the Vegito banner because back then there was no guaranteed GSSR, yeah. And I went 10 multis in a row with 0 SSRs.
Yep.
10, dude. 10 multis, no SSRs. Between the two of them, I did 5 and 5. I was stunned.
Yeah.
I was stunned. So screw that banner. We'll move along because I don't even want to look at it anymore. How was your luck on that banner, by the way?
That was funny because I remember this was 2017 Christmas. My nephew had just been born. I was like helping my sister-in-law out, and so the banners had just dropped. My nephew fell asleep, and I started summoning. I think I had like 2,000 stones to start off with. Yep. I did like one because it's 3+1, so I did one rotation on Vegito Blue, got nothing, and I was like, let me do one rotation or 1 to 2 rotations on Rose and see how I do. And then within the 2 rotations, I pull him. I was like, cool. Let me just go dump everything in the Vegito Blue banner, and I got nothing in the remaining stones. And then the error showed up, and then I only got 300 stones back.
Really?
Yeah, because when they Rosé, of course. Yeah, so it's only Rosé's banner that was the error because it had the Awakened Super Saiyan 3 Broly. Yeah, shouldn't have. Yeah. And the issue here was like I didn't know that. I just saw Super Saiyan 3 Broly. Like I don't care. Let me just get Rosé. Well, what ended up happening was I think within like a couple hours when the banner dropped, which is when I finished all my 2,000 stones. That's when they were like, oh crap, we have like the wrong art. Let's take down the banner. So before I could go even deeper on the Rosé banner, they took it down and then they're like, oh, wait, here we go. Here's their compensation. I was like, oh, great. So,
yeah, I remember because I got back 450 because I had thrown 450 in that one and I threw 450 into the Vegito banner. And so I remember getting 455 because of the extra 5
plus.
Yeah. But yeah, that was good times. And then, so now, I don't think it's listed here, but now we are in 2021.
21.
And so we're dealing with another crazy era. This one is like probably the most confusing to me, though, because it seems to me like. Here's the thing that's very strange about it, dude, is like, if it was just the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and the LR UI Goku getting swapped out accidentally, which could 100% happen. A technician, engineer could have accidentally put in the wrong line of code, especially if they're just looking at like, serial numbers for these characters as opposed to it just saying the character. Because like in all these databases, you're not actually putting like, okay, I got to type in LR UI signed Goku. It's probably like, -456B78 or whatever the hell it is. And so they could have put a Z instead of a B, and then boom, Tech Goku jumps onto the banner. But what makes 0 sense is why then did they just exclude the OG LRs? Because that seemed deliberate. That's the part that I'm just kind of like, why though? Especially if you have them on JP. I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're going to exclude it off of JP. They've been on there. They've had it for 6 more months. They've had obviously more legendary banners, so people would have them more. Like that's the confusing part. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, a benefit or a negative. Negative. That's I don't understand why they did that. That was very strange to me.
No, I agree with you. It seems like if you just, like you said, just the UI Super Saiyan 3 being swapped, it's probably a database error, right? But if it's that plus leaving out the OGLR as well on JP, it seems like just people didn't check their work. If this was truly all errors and not intended, they needed to double check their work more often. So, I don't know how to evaluate this because, of course, for global, I agree with you guys. You guys get shafted more often than JP does, but it's hard to evaluate because there's nothing similar to this whatsoever. Yeah, right. There's no precedence to like, oh, okay, well they did this before, so more than likely they'll do this. That's why I said initially is like, well, if they didn't take the banner down right away, they're not really worried about it. Well, crap. 4 days later, they're like, yo, yeah, we're kind of worried about it. Let's take the banner down. I'm like, All right. Well, if that's the case, I have no frame of reference as to give you a clue what's going to happen next.
So go
yeah.
ahead. I was gonna say, what do you think? What, like, just off the top of your head, a fair compensation would be? I'm not saying like, you know, if we're holding a 4-leaf clover and a rainbow pops over us, and you know the luckiest luck happens, and they want to give us 10,000 stuff. I'm saying what you think would be just a straight up fair compensation for this strange mistake that was made.
It, to me, the fairest thing possible would be depending on how many rotations you did. So if you did one rotation, they would give you enough gacha coins to buy, like, these are red stones, right? Or red gacha coins?
Yep.
Okay. That's what, 200 stones. So that's what, 20. I can't remember. Let me do the math real quick. It's one multi is times 10, so 40 coins. They give you 40 coins per rotation.
Gotcha.
As compensation, where you know, like, stones are useful for most people in the sense that it gives you diversity to be like, I want to refresh stamina. But most people, let's be honest, like 95% of the people are just going to summon with the stones, right? Sure. Whether that's going to be on a red banner or gold coin banner or a blue coin banner, it's like, if you were going to summon here, probably give you guys some coins. I don't know if they'll refund all the stones, but they'll probably give you some compensation on those stones, like a bunch of crap, like some Kais, some you know, some orbs, some skill equips or whatever. They'll just be like, sorry.
Skill equips would be great.
You know, like anything along those ways where people could utilize something along it. I think that's fine. Stones, everyone keeps saying, because they just want more opportunities to summon. Sure, they'll give you something, but is it going to be like all the stones you used? At most, it'd be 600. Maybe. I really doubt it. But
you know,
hey, look,
crazy.
I don't know.
Also, is what about those people that kept going after they did the step up? Because it doesn't go away after you finish the 3 rounds. It's just a 50 stone banner at that point, and it has all those featured units. Now, some people didn't mention this, but even on that form of the banner, you couldn't get LR UI Goku. He was not there. I checked, because after I finished my step-ups, I looked into the summon rates. He wasn't there, which was insane. So I will say what I think they should do. They can go about it a few different ways. And then we'll talk about, we'll finish it off with how this ranks in terms of strange screw-ups in Dokkan Battle history. They can do a few different things. Obviously, they can do what they did on the Rosé banner and just do a refund. Here, sorry about it. Take back your stones. Here, five dragon stones. Call it a day.
On top, yeah.
Right? Whatever. Bring back the banner, but just have it as the 50 dragon stone joint. If you didn't do the step-ups already, then you don't get anything. You just get 5 dragon stones. And then you can now summon on the corrected version of the banner. And if you already summoned on it, sorry, here's your stones back. Try at it again. If they want it to be crazy generous, they can refund the stones and then reset the banner to be appropriate and reset the steps. So you do your 3 rounds again. That would be like, I don't even know how to say it without, you know, getting
it would be the craziest
here.
thing. Yeah, it would be the craziest thing that had ever occurred.
The most insane. Like, Japan would flip 300. They were like, we only got 300 stones, and these dudes are getting 6 guaranteed LRs. Come on. So I think that might be a little bit crazy. But the last thing is, if they don't want to refund stones, reset the banner 1 round only. So if you've already done your 3 rounds, you've already gone 600 stones deep, okay, they'll reset the banner 1 round only. LR UI Goku now can be obtained on steps, you know, 1 through 5. And it's free all the way. So you just get a free round of summons. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's essentially like a 200 stone. Refund. So they save a little, you know, they only do a third of the stone refund. They don't actually have to generate currency to kind of dilute the system. And it's just like a one-time only thing for the people that actually summoned. Or even, you know, if you haven't done the 3 rounds only, if you haven't done the 3 rounds only, sorry guys, you're screwed. And that drives me nuts too, is the people that haven't done it and be like, where's my stones? It's like, bro, what? why would you?
You weren't affected.
Yeah, you ain't do nothing.
Yeah, yeah, you weren't affected by it. So
the hell? That's why the Kefla thing was so crazy. That brand new accounts got 300 stones, and But again, it makes sense. It was false rates. So.
Yeah, just to reiterate, like how bad that was for them. They literally showed the error in the code, like in their message, and nobody would give up the secret sauce to their game, right? So that's how serious it was, because Yahoo Financial and JP was like, yeah, people could sue them for this. And if you're talking about stocks were dipping. Like this was a big deal. Like the game would have died if they didn't do anything.
The game would have died, and it wouldn't have been like, oh, Naruto Blazing is over because no one's spending money on the game. This would have been, this game is going to die and is now going to negatively affect Bandai because lawsuits are coming, and it's going to affect the rest of their business. It's like, so, who even owns Naruto Blazing? Is it Bandai as well?
They publish it. They're part of that as well. But
so for something like that, they already know that game is dying. They already have 4 other projects in the works to take its place and to migrate different money into different departments to take over for it. In this particular case, in Dokkan Battle, this was out of left field, and it would have been a massive financial blow if Dokkan Battle just died right then and there, and then the oncoming lawsuits. So with that said, how do you rank this in terms of craziest incidents in Dokkan Battle history?
It's up there. In terms of global, I say this is the second craziest thing that has ever happened.
Interesting. I want to hear this.
I still maintain that the global first year anniversary of lowering Super Gogeta strength, Super Gogeta's rates, was the scummiest thing ever.
True.
It's the biggest shaft that global ever had, and for the most part, 90% of the people who are playing now were played after that, so they don't even know. So they're like, no, in my lifetime or my gameplay, yeah, sure. But if you're looking at the history of like global Dokkan Battle, this is the second, because there's an opportunity to get it. They're going to address it. We didn't even address it on global. They didn't even say anything.
True.
And again, this is like back in the old days where we got top grossing, but it was 5 stones.
Yeah.
For all the countries that got top grossing. So I mean, they don't mention it here because it wasn't ever disclosed. Like nobody knew except the people that were on the Reddit and all that stuff. Like they saw the rates drop, and then when the complaints started coming back up, then it went back up. In the beginning, it was just so everyone was trying to get in. The servers couldn't handle it. That was like the biggest thing that they say here.
And that's a good point, because it was never acknowledged by them, even though it was proven. And you're right. It's because like they did that simulator where they did like 10,000 multis or whatever. And it was, I mean, you can't dispute math. You can't be like, well, we promise it's this. It's like, no, we've done the math, dude. It's not that. Like,
here's the data. And as a science-driven person, like here's the data. You screwed up. Like you went from 0.7 to 0.3 or 0.35 or whatever it was. It was literally half the rate compared to everyone else. And the only thing that was crazy, it was just his rate. It was nobody else's.
Yeah.
So that's why it was freaking infuriating, because I pulled like 12 like Angel AGL Golden Friezas, who was a new unit, and I could not pull one Strength Gogeta for my life.
Yep. And then to distract, 2 months later, they were like, and we're doing a collab with One Piece, so stop worrying about that.
Yeah, so it was kind of weird. Again, I still maintain that's the biggest shaft, because it was intentionally done, because they never acknowledged. I mean, it could be accidental, like some engineer, like in this case, screwed up and then they fixed it and went back, but they never acknowledged it. Yeah. So to me, I always think of it like, well, they intentionally did that, and they never ever compensated or anything like that, compared to this where, I mean, again, different landscapes. Back then, gacha scene was very small.
Sure.
Dragon Ball was huge, so again, too big to fail is kind of what we see it. But nowadays, like, there are so many better gachas in terms of games, animation, production, that you screw up once, you're going to falter quite a bit. So they're going to compensate you guys. If something's going to happen, I don't know what it's going to be. Again, this is a precedent that's never been set. We've never seen anything like this. So just manage your expectations is the best way I could give you guys any advice.
Indeed. Just keep in mind, Global is not known for giving the greatest compensation for anything at all. So what I was saying, my expectations were what would be fair. That's not necessarily what is going to happen. So, like Nolar said, temper your expectations. Great way to put it, and great way to end it. Thank you so much for coming on to discuss this ridiculous, insane times that we're having over on Global. You guys are just chilling on JP. You're relaxing. You're not even touching that step-up banner. Like, you're just like,
yeah. Right now it's the calm before the storm. I'm buying stones every day.
6th year, dude.
Because 6 years come in at the end of January, beginning of February. So
true.
I am just prepping my wallet little bit by little bit. It's like, all right, it's just $100 today, $100 tomorrow, and then 500, and then 1,000. So I'm just getting ready.
By the way, you triggered like 10 million people on those amounts. They're like, Nolar! All right, brother. Appreciate you coming on. Everyone, if you haven't followed Nolar or 59 Gaming, go check out their YouTube. Go check out their Twitter. Go check out their Twitch. They're live literally every day. I feel like you guys don't stop streaming. I go on Twitch and you're like on Mario Kart, you're on Legends, you're on Dokkan Battle, whatever it is you guys want to play. You guys were on Rust earlier. Like, it's insane.
Yeah,
so
look, though, the goal of 5-9 is just a quick plug, as we're all gamers before we were gotcha gamers in Dragon Ball, Dokkan Battle, or Legends, and we want to rekindle that love and be like, guys, we have interests outside of this, even though you know us primarily for this. And we want to provide some entertainment, feedback, news for everything else under the sun that is gaming and entertainment. So our goal with the Twitch stuff, 24/7 content. When you're awake, insomnia, someone in Japan's playing, like Talon, a couple of the new guys we recruited, or you want to hang out while we, bitch at each other and yell about Mario Party or Mario Kart, that's there too. So by all means, check out our stuff. And thanks again, Periodik, for bringing me along. I haven't done a video on my channel in a while. It's always nice to sit down and just talk Dokkan.
Hell yeah. Appreciate it, brother. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, I mean, consider what you're doing with your life. Go ahead and gently rub that sub button, gingerly ring that bell button, lovingly kiss the like button. As always, this is Periodik. See y'all in the next video.